Hey guys, CRU Productions here again. Today, finally, I found just one Wave 2 Hasbro starter. As you can see, we have Lance Knight 480 HN for high needle. So that's my second high needle, so excited to get that. But most of all, excited to finally find one of these Wave 2 starters in the wild. I found this at one Target, not locally, but still in my area, about 20-30 minutes out. So glad I made that stop in. Regardless, let's go ahead, check out the box. See, Lance Knight has a nice unique design. I technically have a Lance Knight remold in Thanos if I'm not mistaken. Standard Beyblade X box. But here's the back. I do like the colorway of Lance Knight a lot. I do like the green with the purple. Kind of reminds me of the Joker almost. It's not the same green, of course. We'll see once we open the package. We get a blue and purple 480 and looks to be a dark green high needle. So that's a really interesting colorway. Very excited to see how this looks in person once we crack open the box. So let's go ahead and do that now. Inside the box, of course, we have our entry-level launcher. Nothing too crazy there. We're not going to use that either. Throw that in the bin. Here's our ratchet and bit combination. Let's take a look at our Lance Knight. Incredible design. We'll check the weight in a moment. We get sort of a deepish, not quite indigo, but definitely a purple. Of course, the green, as mentioned previously. There's our underneath. Not symmetrical. Wonder if it's as imbalanced as Helm Knight. Looks to be about the same. We have our 3 rivets and 3 points. I don't see anything too outrageous in terms of balance, so maybe I'm wrong about that. So there's that. Let's take a look at it compared to our Helm Knight. As you can see, we still have sort of that 3-segment circular Beyblade. It's not as circular as Helm Knight, but we still get sort of these round edges up here. Just kind of remind them of that. We have where it comes to a point together here. You can see that. Let's try to do it this way. So that's similar and that's similar. So this is definitely a logical update to Helm Knight. Let's go ahead and check the weight of the blade before we assemble the Beyblade and show it off in battle. Lance Knight weighs in at 32.21 grams, which clocks in ever so slightly above our Helm Knight at 32.12 grams. And for comparison's sake, Thanos is severely underweight compared to both of those at 29.28 grams. So if you're looking for a Lance Knight and you find the Thanos, I would highly advise against buying Thanos just for that shape. Definitely hold out for the Lance Knight. Here's a look at our Lance Knight fully assembled. We get a nice dark green, sort of a forest green high needle. Like I mentioned before, we got our blue and our translucent purple for the ratchet. And up top we get that lighter green, almost mint green with the purple for the centerpiece. Overall, this is a more aggressive blade than Helm Knight, so I feel like it might have some use in attack combinations. I'm not sure if it's going to have enough recoil or weight to throw other Beyblades around, but it would be interesting to go ahead and try that out. I do wish the colors were a little bit more uniform. As we can see, Helm Knight is pretty much green exclusively, so that makes sense. So I wish that with those 2 colors that are maintained throughout the Beyblades, I wish the outside of the ratchet was a similar color to that green. And then same thing for the bit, I wish it was a lighter shade of green, but I do like the aesthetics nonetheless, and I'm very pleased with my purchase. Let's go ahead and jump into a quick little battle segment, but before we do, drop a like on this video if you like what Hasbro has released for Wave 2. And drop a comment if you're excited to see what comes next in Wave 3. Let me know what you guys think is going to come next for us with Hasbro's Beyblade X. Let's go ahead and jump into the battle segment. So let's go ahead and test our Lance Knight against a couple of different Beyblades, see what kind of results we can produce in our Takara Tomy Stadium. First, we're going to do one of Multi's other blades. We're going to use just a stock wizard rod, and we're going to use our string launcher with the grip. Of course, we're going to launch wizard rod first because not only is it overpowered, but it is the stamina type. Unintentionally launch that where it would be so aggressive and hit the line immediately. Loses a lot of spin as a result, but I don't think it was going to beat a stock wizard rod anyways. And it's also a burst finish. Definitely a poor launch technique on my part. Let's go ahead and test it against Helm Knight this time. I'll launch Helm Knight first, see if we can make a difference. does look like Lance Knight has a lot of recoil, especially when compared to Helm Knight. And despite being launched second, oh, it does. Let's see. It picks up the win. So no despite there, it does manage to hold on for the win, so that's nice. Next, let's use Chain Incendio, another upgraded Beyblade. Poor launch on my part again. Ooh, there's where the recoil comes in. Knocked around relatively easily. Lost a lot of stamina moving around. And also burst again. Something I forgot to mention earlier while we have it apart is that High Needle is a low burst resistance bit, as all needle bits are. Lastly, let's pit it up against an attack type in our Dran Dagger. Lance Knight definitely is very imbalanced to some sort of extent. I'm sure the 460 does not help it, as it is naturally a 3-sided Beyblade with a 4-sided ratchet, so it does not want to maintain balance. Unfortunately, I'm sure this could be aided with a 360 or 960 or 380, 980, whatever height, of course. So out of all the primary Beyblades, it is quite possibly my least favorite, admittedly, but aesthetically I do like it. I do like how it appears over Helm Knight. I do think Helm Knight provides more defense to use. While it is imbalanced, you can get around that with Ratchet Choice with its round shape. It is a little bit lightweight, so it might be easily tossed around, but should be usable in a Hasbro dominant metagame. That said, I would like to try it in some attack combinations, especially in the Hasbro Stadium, which is more attack dominant, as I previously mentioned in the past. See how it compares against some of the other contemporary Beyblade X releases for Hasbro's metagame. That said, if you guys do see it, I do recommend picking it up. It is a nice looking Beyblade. It doesn't have super useful parts, but it does have High Needle, which is nice. The only other way to get High Needle in Hasbro, I believe, is with Knife Shinobi, which is effectively useless. And if you have to decide between the two starters, even though I don't have it yet, I would still recommend the Claw Leon Hasbro starter, because you do get a 560 ratchet and the point bit. Still happy with my purchase. Glad I got it. Glad I found it. Really hoping I can find the last piece to Hasbro's Wave 2 that I need. And then can't wait for Wave 3 to release. So if you guys are excited for any future unboxings, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. As I mentioned previously in the video, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed what I did, and leave a comment about your thoughts about Lance Knight, whether it's looks, performance, etc. If you have any good attack combinations, I am excited to hear that. I would like to try them out in the Hasbro Stadium. I can even do a little bit of testing in this Takara Tomy Stadium as well. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. This has been CRU Productions. Take it easy.